Good morning, students. Let's move on to the final topic of the chapter, that is synthesis of other organic compounds. You have studied that during photosynthesis, the green plants they synthesize carbohydrates. And what are carbohydrates? Carbohydrates are the organic compounds containing carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. And other than carbohydrates, plants also synthesize compounds like proteins, which you all know that it proteins helps us to make new cells and are required for the growth of the body of all living organisms. Okay, and uh, even though nitrogen is present in the atmosphere, the plants they cannot use the nitrogen directly. This I told you in the previous video. So plants derive nitrogen from the soil in the form of nitrogenous compound. Okay, and the conversion of free nitrogen of the atmosphere into nitrogenous compounds is called as nitrogen fixation. Okay, it is called as nitrogen fixation. Now these nitrogenous compounds are important for the plants so that they can synthesize proteins. Okay, proteins can be synthesized only if nitrogen compounds are available to the plants. Otherwise, it will not be available for the plants. So, how can this atmospheric nitrogen be fixed into usable form? One of the process I told you yesterday was, if you remember children, I had told you there is symbiotic relationship, isn't it, between which bacteria? It is between rhizobium bacteria and rhizobium bacteria which lives in the root nodules of the leguminous plant, and another one is azobacter. Azobacter is another example which can fix the atmospheric nitrogen into usable form, and the another one is rhizobium which lives in the root nodules. This I explained you in the previous video. Then another form by which nitrogen can be fixed is during lightning and thunder. Whenever there is lightning and thunder, some amount of nitrogen from the atmosphere is fixed to the soil. And then the third procedure by which it can be the nitrogen can be added is farmers they add the nitrogen into the soil by adding fertilizers. Okay, they add fertilizers to the soil which easily replenish the nitrogen amount in the soil. So this is the three methods by which the nitrogen is fixed, that is the atmospheric nitrogen is fixed into usable form of plants. And plants then once it is in the simple form, the plants can very easily use the nitrogenous compounds to make proteins. Now we come to the special mode of nutrition. Till now children you studied autotrophic mode of nutrition and heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Now there are some insectivorous plants. Okay, these plants are also called as carnivorous plants. Why? Because they capture animals of different kinds, especially insects. And these plants, why I told you it is special mode of nutrition is because these plants are actually green in color. Okay, they are green in color and they can make their own food. So in a way you can say that they have got autotrophic nutrition. Along with autotrophic nutrition they show heterotrophic nutrition as well. So that is they are insectivorous plants. That means they are green plants. They can make their own food, but still they catch insects and all. Why do they catch insects and all? So that they can get the nitrogenous compounds from the body of the insects. Okay, what do? These insectivorous plants they trap the insects using specialized leaves, and then they digest the prey and absorb all the nitrogenous product from their body. Just now I told you nitrogen is very important for synthesizing proteins. So the nitrogen demand is fulfilled from external source rather than the soil. They cannot take from the soil. So they eat the insects and they take the nitrogen demand is fulfilled. And what are some examples of insectivorous plants? Some examples of insectivorous plants are the pitcher plant, the Venus flytrap, and the sundew plant. Okay, these are the some examples of insectivorous plants. Finally, we come to the mineral nutritions. Okay, what are the various minerals? Plants need variety of minerals also for carrying out their life functions. And what are these minerals? These minerals are nitrogen and sulfur in proteins, magnesium in chlorophyll, and calcium in the cell wall. So all these mineral nutritions are needed by the plants and they are taken up. And how do they take up source of plant nutrition? See, from the air, this you have already studied, they get carbon dioxide and oxygen from the air. From the water, they get hydrogen and dissolved metals. And from the soil, they get nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, sulfur, calcium, magnesium. All these minerals they get from the soil. And these mineral nutrients are very useful for the plants. Why? Because just like in our body needs minerals and nutrients, the plants also need these nutrients for their growth and development. Okay, and when the soil is do not have this mineral nutrients, what do the farmers do? The farmers use fertilizers and manures. Okay, they use fertilizers and manures so that the soil can be replenished with the nutrients. Okay, so this is how, that is the enrichment of the soil keeps the plant healthy. So that is why farmers practice crop rotation in their field. Okay, crop rotation means in one season they put one crop and then in the other season they put the other crop, so that when the crop rotation is done, what will happen? The soil will get enough nutrients and the plant will get enough amount of nutrient from the soil. Clear, children? So with this we have completed the chapter. Please read the chapter properly, and if you have any doubt you can contact me on my personal number. Thank you, children.